Hello to everyone. You are first. Guess who's here? It's you. Hey, Mom. When I say your name, it sounds like I'm saying Mom. Hi, Mom. Hi, Grim. Hey, Snack was soon. All good to see you. Goofer and Goober. Welcome. I saw you followed earlier. Good to see ya. Oh, hell yeah. Wi-Fi. Let's go. Let's see. I gotta go scroll back to the first in lore sheets. Thankfully, this is not going to be like a 3-hour long, 4-hour long stream like last time. But there is a lot of good stuff. I am munching, sorry. I'm eating popcorn. So I may have underestimated how much popcorn would, like, expand. I put like half a cup in there. Yeah, I'm sorry. I feel so bad for the people in Europe and other outside of the US, because I'm in the US, and worst of all, I'm in California, which is like literally on the other side of the world from y'all in Europe. So I apologize. I'm trying to move things around so it's a little bit better. Like the challenge server things, I'm gonna alternate between like early for me and like late so that sometimes you guys can join. You got Taskmaster. Oh my gosh. I got plan. There's gonna be another one this year. I won't say when. He's gonna appear again though. Hi Shadow. CJ, hello. Apple. I can only read Apple and Wheatley's voice. Alright, well. Are we ready to get started? I have what snacks do y'all have? I have some bindi and rice. And I have popcorn. Way too much popcorn. I did remember this time. Oh my god. Chips, Oreos, you have air. Hello, Airtails. Nothing, you starve? Oh. We're starving. Wheatley, like from Hit Game Portal 2, like the best character of all time. It's true. Dude, I was insufferable as a child when I grew up playing Portal 2. That was like the only game I would play ever. My first cosplay ever when I was like 11 years old was Chell. I knew every single line. Anyway. The fruit from Grow a Garden? Oh, that's giving me PTSD from my previous job, man. Trying to get my tablet to load so I can upload my lore video. Ooh, you have time. We go through lore sheets first, usually. We got some good lore today. Alright. Done munching for now. Let's head over to Lore Tuesday. Why isn't it moving? My stream deck is, like, broken. I need to fix it. Hello, hello. Also, for those who've been here for a while, what do you think of the new layout? Because I did change it so that it, like... Oh, it looks cool. You got the logo down here. Before, it was literally just, like, my camera and, like, black or, like, gray or whatever, and then Discord. You need help with the texture pack? Put in a, there's a report channel. It's up. It's up right under questions, feedback, and announcements and everything. You just click that, create a ticket. Our moderators are on it. Alright. Let's go ahead and go do lore sheets. I'm pretty sure this is the last one that we read last time. Yeah, because that was Toby's. Alright, we have the Mimic! My name is Edwin. I made the Mimic. That's you? Oh my gosh. Hi, Strawberry. It's a little difficult to see the sheets and lore. Oh. Well, what would be better? Cause like, the thing is I have to have it a little bit on the side, because if I don't, my camera is over some of the lore sheets. But are you like, what could I do to change it, to make it better? Oh, you know what? I think I think that's my recording bitrate. My streaming bitrate is the same, but it's like 2500 because my internet sucks. I might try it on a higher bitrate next week. Just as a test. Okay. We got Kat, an alien who travels across different planets and universes with the Sun Guy in search of a cure for the wishing stars, but has made friends with a grumpy old scientist and has given up on the search and has taken up a new career as the world's worst DJ. I have to hear this. I have to hear this world's worst DJ. This is Sun Guy, destroying planets to use their essence to make wish stars so he can study their powers after being corrupted by them all. After being corrupted by them, all he wants to do is turn back to normal and will do anything to get that, even if it means the extreme. Even if the means are extreme. Is that the smile phrase? Is that the saint? The saint? Yes, you can always write. If you can get it in before I end the stream, I will always read stuff in Lore Tuesday channel. There's a song in the channels? Oh my god. Okay, wait, we gotta keep going. The virus? Yo, wait, this character design is so cool. A virus made by Sun Guy to help gather essence eats away at organic material of planets and used to hack into computer systems and fry planet security systems. Huh. I really like that character design. That's cool. I'm eating popcorn like this guy eats planets. Wait, I know another character you guys are gonna meet that eats planets. Also, technically, my character Freya eats planets, but she has not. She's eaten a star. So Star Guy better watch out! She might eat it! Oh my god. Okay, hold on. We gotta hear this. This is the funniest thing I've ever heard. This is Tyler the Creative 6 track. That's killing me. Oh. That was so funny. That's the most amazing thing I've ever heard in my life. I'm playing that on the aux next time my dad is driving. He'll throw me out of the car. That was amazing. And totally canon. I love that. Okay. The cutest design ever. Oh my gosh. Your art looks like a Disney character. We have Nanes? Nanes? I don't know how to pronounce this. I am sorry. I hope I'm saying it right. We have... Okay, wait. Where's the lore? There we go. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm guessing it's Nanes? Nanes? Ninis? Nines? Trying to watch the stream. My dad came into my room talking about how I'm going to be in band camp for 2 months. My high school is dedicated to getting a respectable band. Play your dad that song. Nenes? Okay, Nenes, thank you. Was born into work. Her earliest memories are hot metal, hurt hands, and the constant noise from the machines. The children yearn for the mines. The gnome colony she lived in, a part of the repair industry, wasn't home. Gnomes, thanks to their size and structure, were the perfect laborers for the dangerous, delicate maintenance work. Oh my gosh. Since the first step, gnomes were put to use, paid very little, valued almost nothing. This is such a cute lore slide, and it's such a tragic story. With only 6 years, Nenez was trained to crawl inside narrow and tight vents to fix and reconnect unstable fusion cores and wires. By 9, she'd survived her first almost death experience. Don't cry, they said. That happens with everyone at least one time. But despite the constant criticism and pressured work, Nenez found rare secret joys. A single strawberry from a passing merchant that accidentally dropped. It was a miracle. She nibbled it for hours and hours as if wanting to make it last as long as possible, then carefully dried the seeds and kept them safe inside a scrap of cloth tied around her wrist. She'd sneak off during breaks to braid old flowers that sometimes she found into a flower crown. She learned to do embroidery with the little resources she had. She would often stitch tiny strawberries onto her ripped uniform overalls to remind herself that sweetness in life still existed, even if it had to be her doing it. Then the great anomaly came. She was 13. In one normal shift, the airlock lights blinked once, then twice, and when she opened her eyes, everyone was gone, including her family. No explosion, no scream, nothing. Only a few humans survived, some engineers, captains, and mechanics, confused and panicked. The gnomes were quickly gathered and counted, not out of kindness, but out of necessity. We'll need hands if we want to get anywhere, one of the captains said. The survivors boarded a ship, an old and maybe a bit unstable vessel called Maribel. It wasn't meant for long travels. It whined and hissed through space, barely held together by the amount of rust. The humans took control, giving tasks. The gnomes followed, too scared to resist, too tired to try to fight. The loss of loved ones was heavy, but the pressure was even heavier. Work didn't stop just because the world ended. Nenez found herself already working before she could grieve. The humans didn't even bother to call her by her name, just Small One or Red One. She didn't speak unless someone spoke to her. It was safer that way. But she kept the seeds. Wrapped into the same piece of cloth, she would stitch new strawberries into her overalls in the evenings with little strings she could find. But there were moments, rare and precious, when she'd sit by one of the few small openings in the cargo where she pressed her forehead against the glass and watched the space. Stars. So many stars. She imagined her family living in one of them, baking pies out of stardust and waiting for her. 6 years passed like that. Damn. Oh, it actually is Nay? Not Nenez? Nene's? My bad. I don't know. Then the humans found solace, a signal, a world, a chance for a new life. The humans brought the gnomes with them, still thinking they were their property, tools, but solace wasn't the same. The land was different, happier. The gnomes eventually were able to run away and parted ways. She found herself in a quiet grove one day, the soft soil beneath her feet, the sun shining in her hair, and for the first time in 6 years she unwrapped the cloth. She planted the strawberry seed that quickly grew massive and turned into her new house, a place where she could be happy and free, and maybe she could finally find her place. That's such a touching story. I love that. I love that strawberry house, by the way. And beautiful art. Like, I want to commission you. Alright. Moving on, we have Lore Entry Unknown Origin. I feel like this isn't a lore sheet. This is for Lore Tuesday, but we can read it anyways. For those who are confused, lore sheets are for like your initial character creation. If you make any big changes to it, you can post it again, and I'll read it again. But only for like lore and stuff. If you just change like the skin or like something like that, I probably will skip it. But Lore Tuesday is where you put stuff like this. Just for future reference. Ash carried on the wind, a whisper older than stone. The fire did not die, it waited. One remains, watching. The ember remembers. A burnt scrap of parchment was found wedged in the bark of an ancient tree just outside of Solace. Just outside Solace? Outside the planet? I'm guessing they mean like the main town. The paper was scorched along the edges, marked with a faint symbol, a phoenix curled around a single flame, almost erased by time. No one knows who left it, no one knows who it's for. Interesting. Alright, we have Marrow Kelly. Where is the lore? I think it's on the next page. But let's admire this for a second. I like the crinkled old paper. Sorry, I'm a little stuffy. That's why my voice sounds kind of weird. Merrow's father, Castor Kelly, was a distinguished explorer and sailor who lived in the Rim. But one thing the public doesn't know is that one late night in the middle of the sea, Castor fell in love. Looking out across the sea right before he was headed to bed before the night, her eyes landed on the most beautiful woman. He thought it was a dream, but every night on his exploration, she came back right to the edge of his ship. He had fallen in love with a siren. She never spoke, not a single word, but 9 months later on another exploration, she emerged to the side of his boat with a baby girl in hand. Whoa, that got freaky. It was Merrow. He took Merrow aboard his ship and never saw his sea-bound lover ever again. Oh! Castor Kelly died in a boating incident, leaving Melanie determined to not only be like him, but one day find her mother. Now, late-night sails consist of Merrow singing out for her only for her calls to be met by the soft crashing of the sea. On Earth, Merrow used the ocean as an escape from the evil that lay on the land, but soon she grew tired of eventually returning to land, only to be disappointed. She came to Solace for peace. She thought that a woman so enchanting like her mother would come from such an enchanting place like Solace. Merrow searches the seas of Solace for her mother. I mean, can sirens travel to different planets? That would be interesting. So many new places to discover. Maybe she could be the #1 explorer of Solace, just like her father. Are you a part of the Lilac Expedition faction? Because I think you should be. I think you would enjoy that if you like exploring. We have Dante. I come from the planet Maileron. I spend my days usually studying, sleeping, or hanging out with my girlfriend Mira. I would take classes to earn my computer science degree and would try to aim for the highest grade possible. I believe in a higher power, but I don't give it much thought since I saw no proof of a higher being in this world. So I would go about my day as usual until the great anomaly happened. I was finishing up my midterm and headed to the cafeteria until I saw people disappearing out of thin air. And without a second thought, I rushed straight to Mira's classroom, where she was taking her midterm. But I couldn't find her, so I sat at the cafeteria where the remaining survivors gathered at. I was thinking the worst had happened, until I saw her sitting by herself, and went to see her and comfort her since we were both having a hard time grasping the issue at hand. We got on a ship to head to Solace, as we were told it was a safe haven and created by Lady Freya. Ooh, Lady Freya. For the remaining survivors that had survived the great anomaly. I like it. Oh no, a tired college student. Real. Never take one of his glasses. We have Finks. Oh, Fix. Fix. I don't know why I read that as an N. That's your boyfriend? Awesome. Alright, you were saying you were gonna convince him to join. Nice. Hi, Shin. I don't miss college. I've been out for 3 years now. Don't miss it a bit. Vexen was his place. A small cubical purple planet from outside, but greener than everything on the inside. And that was still in his very early centuries. Vix was one of the first Vexenians to be born after the appearance of the Vexen planet, the best and peaceful planet in the whole multiverse. Damn. However, one day, Fix and his whole family were working on their Grutus local vegetable crops and were under attack. A neighbor planet that knew over a century the existence of Vexenians took over, blasting everyone that Fix knew and destroying every place that Fix loved. He still doesn't know the motive of the attack, but that cost him his memory and every other family member. He doesn't know how he got to Solace. Come on. He escaped, so his whole family was under attack, took a ship out of there. He hid on one of the ships. He, sent out an SOS and hitched a ride over to Solace. You can do it. Dementia SMP! He doesn't know how he got to Solace, but he needed to find answers for everything that's happening all around him. Good one other than that. Maybe the Strawberry House? Oh! How do I pronounce... Is it Nenez? Nenez? Please let me know. I think I mispronounced it the entire time. Gaelic Volk. Gaelic was a Magitech engineer for the country of Thais. Nenes? 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 Wait, I gotta look that up. Hold on. Okay. Nenes.
Nenes.
I feel like that's not correct. Nenes. Nenes. Okay. Got it. Thank you. Working tirelessly for 13 years, many of his coworkers respected him, others wanted to get rid of him. One day, some of his coworkers decided to tamper with one of his devices when he was working on a new Magistone in his lab. Something went wrong. Unfortunately, something went so wrong. The machine that he was working on exploded and teleported him to the Nether. After waking up and seeing he was surrounded by fire, he decided to try to find a way to escape. However, while exploring the Nether for a way out, the great anomaly happened, and the Nether shifted around him. When the shifting was over, he found himself in front of a patrol of piglins. They all looked at him, and Gaelic started running for it. After running for a while, he found a portal and ran through. When he ran through, he ended up falling down a hill and getting knocked out. When he woke up, he found himself in a new place, with nowhere to go, but now out of trouble, he decided to look for a place of refuge. Fell into solace, that's a new one. Kate is live. Thank you for following. I've been stick bugged. Oh, more of this. This needs to go on Lord Tuesday. Pina Kesu, if you're watching, this stuff goes in Lord Tuesday. Lore sheets are for character stuff. Fire did not die, it waited. The Ember remembers. Ooh. I think this person left. Yeah, they left. We have Rakos? After his family disappeared from the Great Anomaly, Rakos set out on a journey to look for them, having no clue where the hell they had gone. While on his journey, he gained a great interest for traveling and exploring abandoned areas. One day, he came across a traveling potion merchant who sold him a strange potion. The potion had turned him into an empath and given him mirror touch synesthesia. To him, it was a curse to feel what others were going through. He was forced to help those in need, being cursed for his own selfishness. Soon, he had learned what had happened and was told about Solace. Being forced to accept the fact that he was now alone in the world, he traveled to Solace to start a new life and to try to be a better person. Me, an empath, sensing the Great Anomaly happened. No, that's great. I like the... I'm guessing you did this in game? The, like, export button? That's cool. Whoa! Wait, this is so cool. I like the silhouette with the purple eyes. This is kind of creepy. Daffod. Before the anomaly, Daffod was an assassin bounty hunter who was known for taking out the targets of people that survived. Wait, taking out the targets of people that survived the Great Anomaly? That's crazy. The Great Anomaly didn't do enough. We need to take out more. As he went to his last target, to the next, he noticed that the planet was eerily quiet. Not even any animals. He searched on that planet for a while and found 2 other survivors, who he took aboard his ship and trained them up. After a while, he noticed a beacon from a planet. So it was before the Great Anomaly. And then afterwards, he took these people. He noticed a beacon from a planet the system didn't recognize as a decent... he descended, he hit an asteroid and started to brace for impact. On his first day, he recognized one person as a past target and set up a trap to murder. Like, bro's like, everyone on my planet disappeared. Like, almost everyone disappeared. I'm gonna get out of here. Planet I've never heard of before. Crash landing. First thought is, oh my god, that's someone I was supposed to kill. Time to kill him. His 2 allies both passed in the fight, but he didn't care for them anyway. Oh my god! This is the craziest story I've ever read. He didn't care for them anyway, so now he's stuck on Solace, thinking it's for the better now, wondering where his journey will take him next. I like this. That's a crazy story. So, bro was an assassin through and through. Not even just like, I gotta do it for the money. No. He just likes being an assassin. That's crazy. And then trains up a duo with him. And then they just die the first time he tries to kill someone after the crash landing. Bro's in it for the love of the game, for real. I like that. I like that a lot. We got Rosanna Rosalie. I feel like, didn't we see this before? Maybe we didn't have we didn't have the lore before. Rosie, she used to travel with her mom and the crew, but she didn't really like it because she never got to leave the ship, no matter where they stop. There's no punctuation in here. So one day she did something horrible. Wait, no, we did read this. Oh, updated. Okay, cool. To everyone on that ship, but after the incident, something strange happened. The crew disappeared. There was no one. There was no one there to begin with. Before she could think about it, she realized no one was driving the ship, so she quickly tried to make it in time to the steering wheel. But it was too late. The ship crashed into an ice pillar, and she fell into the ocean. When she finally woke up again, she washed up on some land. There were a lot of trees, and she had no clue where she was. Nor did she know how to survive. So her first priority was trying to survive. Though I keep on thinking about a person named Sherbet who would know what to do. I don't know why that name comes to my thoughts. I've never met a person named Sherbet, but why do I think of them? Bump your head and just like, I gotta find Sherbet. Her friend joined, so she added her friend's lore at the end. Ah, that makes sense, that makes sense. We have another update. We have Kai. Kai's past wasn't hers to live. Instead, the Void had puppeted them, made them just to watch other beings and things. Kai has no idea what the Great Anomaly is. The Void had brought Kai to solace because they had no more use for them. Kai is now conscious and aware. Oh man. I'm sorry about the news you're about to hear. But I guess it doesn't really matter, because you were just a puppet before. So maybe you don't care. Internal conflict. Should they discover their past, or should they let the past be the past? Also, I love the art. Great job. Wow, this is fancy. Wait. I feel like I recognize this sheet layout. Isn't this like... This is like... I've used this before. It's like a character creation, like, D&D thing. Sorry, I got munched for a bit. Yes, I see. Alright. Sorry, I'm trying to eat my food. I should have eaten before the stream. I apologize. Moving on. It happened 5 years ago. Quickly, quietly, and mercilessly. None of us had time. None of us knew it was going to happen. But all of us were a part of it, and most of us are now gone. Life on our planet drained as quickly as a blood stain on a piece of paper. We didn't have enough resources and people to rebuild and regrow everything that we lost for the past 5 years. We had to make sacrifices, and we needed to be done soon. With the last grain of resources, we reconstructed our planet's portal so we could find a new place and the idea to live for. But little did we know that the price for this miracle would exceed any of our expectations. It took us 2 long years to gather all the materials we needed, and another 3 months to change the portal's destination. By this time, only 12 of us survived. That's crazy. When all of us were ready, only one thing was left to do. At first glance, everything was perfect. The portal looked solid, and we were excited to start a new life. Unfortunately, little did we know, it wasn't as simple as we thought. We activated the portal altogether, swimming in between infinite realities and worlds. Most of them were destroyed or didn't have any species left. Some of them were almost dead. About 10 minutes later, one of us disappeared. Gone. No sound, no screams, no traces of life left. Then one more, and another one. And now there are only 3 of us. We hold our hands tight, trying to find a better place. And we sew it. A bright, almost magical tray of light. We knew it was our only chance. A second later, fresh air and the warm feeling of sun hit me. With those new... Warm feeling of sun hit me. With those new feelings, I felt like I've lost something, or if I'm being honest with myself, something that I knew all along but didn't want to accept it. My friends were gone quickly, quietly, and mercilessly. This is the wrong music to play during this. I'm sorry. Now I am all alone in this new world of hope. Our last chance is right here. Our world was named after the very first of our species, Alaterra. It was a small but very beautiful planet surrounded by 3 bright stars. All economics in this world was driven by one simple material called lavarist. One piece of this material could make enough magical energy to supply an entire family with needed power for a year. That's cool. All right. About Freya. Oh, she seems really friendly, but at the same time really stressed. True. Sometimes I can't find her anywhere, but I still have a feeling like she is everywhere. It is also true. I am everywhere. She is technically her like human form is just a like projection to she's like she can be any size or shape. Like the original like Lumeran form is like this huge thing that spans like a very like not galaxy level, but I mean she could if she wanted to. Like multiple solar systems level. Like she's like huge. And invisible and undetectable. But the when she met Marcelo and the Arcturus crew or whatever, she well actually first she just like copied what Marcelo looked like to try to like communicate with him, and he was like, that's kind of weird. How about like I'll show you some other pictures of humans. You can look like someone else. And so she just picked one. Anyway, that's super cool. Pete Hungry. Backstory, he was born on Aurora, one of Jupiter's moons. His lifelong dream was to go the deepest part of Aurora, and that's why he became a captain of a submarine. In a few grueling years, he succeeded and returned to the surface, only to see everyone around him turn to dust. With a space shuttle and flew back to he took a space shuttle and flew back to Earth. Not wanting to waste 1.5 years of his life alone on a rocket, he froze himself and flew to Earth. Except he missed by a long shot. A rocket is way harder to control than a submarine, it seems. After waking up 2,500 days later, 1,453 days away from Earth with no way of turning back, he steered to a new habitable planet, Solace. And this time he succeeded. When he entered the atmosphere, his rocket broke into the smallest pieces, but luckily he wore his trusty abyss diving suit and miraculously survived. And bro just likes eating delicious food. His name's Pete Hungry. That's crazy. Oops, I kind of went a little off track. Did I read Aces? Yes, I did. Aces right here. You probably joined before, or like right after I finished reading it, but this one is very cool. I like this a lot. Very good. We have Error Tales. No lore sheet. This looks like AI. Suspicious. Oh, there's a dock. There we go. Oh, I need access! Oh, I need access! I didn't get access. Yeah, if that's AI, we don't allow AI here. Remove that picture. This picture is great. This looks better than this, to me. Like, this gives me more of what you were feeling. Like, what your character... Like, there's more personality in this. Yeah. Like, it just, like, got that smoothness to it. Yeah, I'm guessing they drew this and then put it into, like, an AI, like, make my character from a drawing kind of thing. If it's not AI, my bad. But, it's got that smoothness. Alright, we are done with lore sheets. Yeah, I don't know if they're responding anyway. Wait, Error Tales was in here! Give me access to your document if you're still here. Alright. We are gonna go up to the first. There we go. This was red, this was red, this was red, that was red. Alright. This was red, this was red. Let's see, wait. It starts at 5. 6, 7, 8, 9. I think we read the letters from Amelia to Yelena and Eleanor, right? Oh, that's so sad. It's okay. There's always next week. It should, you just have to set, you go up to the settings here. I'll show you, yeah, this is my season 5 explanation script. You go up into share, and then, sorry, oh wait, you can't even see it, hold on. Hold on. Sorry about that. You gotta go up into share, at the top, you can, there's like a button up here, you can't even see it, and hit from restricted to anyone with the link can view. That's all you need to do.
What is your name?
My name is Yuvan Marasani.
How old
How
are you?
old are you?
I'm 4 years old.
You are the youngest person ever! There's several clove letters and they're not in order. Did we read this? I don't know. I don't know if we read this, but we'll read this again. I feel like we did because this was 2 hours into the stream. The wind has returned. Yeah, if you have stuff in the lorem, put it in Lore Tuesday. I do not go through the lorem because there's a lot of chatter in there. You can just hit forward, this forward button, and just forward it to Lore Tuesday. Whatever things you actually want me to read. I will read this again.
You know?
Journal entry number 6. I consider myself to be a rational person. I don't do things I know would be useless or cause problems down the line. I don't do things in ways that are inefficient, but sometimes emotion takes over. I wish I did not let it. I wish a lot of things. I wish my mother never died. I wish I never found that note. I wish I wasn't a curious person. I wish I never touched that mirror. I wish I got to live a normal life. Wishes are only wishes. The only time you wish is when you know you cannot do. Wishes are inefficient, yet I still wish. This sounds like a Dr. Seuss. I wish for a fish. That's not a Dr. Seuss thing. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, note to self, if I ever get amnesia or have my memory wiped or something bad happens, don't try to break the mirror. It will break you back. Yeah, I think we did read these. I'm pretty sure. Alright, this is another lore sheet. And it's also really difficult to read. Oh, there we go. Remember, lore sheets go in lore sheets. Lore Tuesday stuff goes in Lore Tuesday. You made it shared? Awesome. I'll read that after this one. Kyrex Frostbrine Glaciax. Oh, she doesn't like, Echo. There's no lore, but I will read this. After finding about the Great Anomaly, she hopes to help other survivors from planets who have moved to Solace, as well as make Solace her new home. Nice. Alright, let's go back in the lore sheets. Also, if that picture is AI, Error Tales, if that image is AI, we do not allow AI, here. I just realized, if I open up anything before, I apologize that you couldn't see it. Experiment 023. When Solace created Lumeran Freya... Solace created me! I'm guessing when Freya created Solace, a little of her energy came out and someone took that energy and ran with it? The person started to experiment on it, and he created a life with it. Oh my god, is this my child? And then they created Experiment 023, a being made out of Solace energy. What?
What is your name?
My name is Yuvan Marasani.
How old are you?
I'm 4
I'm 4 years old!
You are the youngest person ever.
This is cool. I just don't know how it works. When I was created, I didn't know what I was or what my name was. So the person created me was a woman, and her name was Dr. Elizabeth. She gave me a name. It was Elliot. She ran a lot of tests on me, but then the Great Anomaly hit. Before anything could happen, she sealed me in a bunker and said, Elliot, make sure you survive. And then it was over. I opened the bunker and I saw her dead on the ground! Wait! Okay. Error Tales. Please read the character sheet and like the the lore of read the lore. Hold on. Let me give you the so there's a thing called make a character. There's like a video intro. There's also the official SMP lore. Here's some Q&A that will help you. You can remake it and resubmit it. Solace is a planet created by Freya. The Great Anomaly was similar to the Thanos snap in the Avengers. And it wiped out 90% of the population of the universe in an instant. No destruction. They just disappeared like the Thanos snap. And then Echo, I guess you don't have to worry about that for now. But just for the future. I also don't know, like, whatever. I'm not gonna talk about this being like Freya's energy child, but I cried out in pain losing her after my breakdown. I buried her. It was the right thing to do, and I walked around looking for a place to call home after days of looking. A person found me there. Their name was Their name was Freya. Oh, it's me. It's your mom, I guess. And they took me in, and they took me to a town they created, and they let me stay. I promised to repay her someday. Mining, stargazing, and trying to listen to the echoes. Smile S&P Orphanage, yeah. You live in the community center now. I'm sorry. You're gonna work at HR, or the Parks and Rec department. The children yearn for government. Alright. This song always reminds me that... Wait. Hold on. Pikmin song meme. Anyway, that's what the song that was playing reminded me of. My bad. This is your first lore sheet? That's okay. You can make another one. You can make as many updates as you want. Just trying to, like, give you advice for how to make it fit into the canon. Because when you fit into the canon, it makes your story more impactful. You feel more included in the story. All that. Alright. As Corey was doing some late-night research, he found out that there was a chance his sister was on this very same planet. He wanted to go search for her straight away, but was too sleep-deprived, so he decided to go to bed. As he woke up the next day, he had a feeling of dread and more paranoid than any other day. He figured that it was because of this newfound discovery, and that something could have happened to her. So he got all set up and ready to go out and try and look for her, no matter the cost. He searched for 2 whole weeks and couldn't find anything, but he hasn't given up yet. As he set out to go out once more, he noticed something he had noticed before. A tent? He wanted to check out who was there, so he tried to sneakily watch them, and he could see his sister's bright pink hair through the tent. So he went over to go and see. As he went, he noticed that her head was not attached to her body? In his panic, he made a mad dash back to his house, gaining the attention of everyone around him. Unluckily for him, it was 2 of the bounty hunters that found him and was chasing him. So as he made it back to his house, he climbed up the ladder with his only armor and sword, with 2 bounty hunters right behind him. So he did what he thought would be the best move, which was to try and fight back. He managed to get rid of 1 person on the 2nd floor of his house, yet now that he was injured, and he had to try to escape again. So he ran as fast as he could, going up and trying to block the 2nd bounty hunter from catching him. He got to the 4th floor, then fought back again, and he won. He didn't want to risk it, so he started climbing all the way up as high as he could to catch his breath. He gazed up at the stars, tears dripping down his face about his sister's death. My gosh. That's so sad. Good evening. What is your username? Sorry. Continuing on. Thank you for following. Thank you. What is this stream? What? Okay. Moving on. Same dude. It's the bounty hunter dude. Assassin. Guy who lives to be assassin. As he was mourning his sister, he couldn't see that behind him was the leader of the bounty hunters, slowly creeping towards him with an already blood-stained sword. But his paranoia paid off in the end, as the cans he put down as a precaution alerted him to the leader's position. But with nowhere to run, he had two options. Either he could fight or jump. Corey had always been a bit of a coward, but he wanted to avenge his sister, so he pulled out his sword. But it was too late. As he takes his dying breaths, the leader starts to talk in a condescending tone about how nobody will know and he should be grateful for this glorious yet merciful death. Oh my god! This is the first canon death of the season! Thank you for subbing, Sharples. No more ads! You subbed as someone died! Sorry, my microphone is probably cutting out. Oh my god! Imagine dying. Could be you! Could be you, Grim. My god. Yeah, 07. First death. 07. Imagine dying in the Great Anomaly. Hold my drink. That's crazy. Rip that person. What are you doing with your... Are you changing characters now? Are we gonna know that... Are you gonna become a ghost? I mean, some people do that. 08. Ooh. Creaking. Spooky. This is from, I don't know which of Spawn's characters this is from. I hate creakings, by the way. They freak me out. I just encountered my first one, like, 2 days ago. Oh, he's making his remaking his lore. Well, 07 the first death of the season. Oh my gosh! We got some juicy lore here. Hey, Toby's character. I finally arrived on the planet I've been searching for, Solace. I thought back to when I heard its name, originally almost 3 months ago when working on a distant planet known as Zernois. Zernois? I was doing my usual gig, kill for hire bounty hunter. Another bounty hunter! And it was the best place for work, or if you were trying to hunt somebody down. In this case, I needed a bit of both. I had heard of Zeranis back... Oh, it's Zeranis, not Zernois. Zernois sounds pretty cool. Is that French? Holy text limit? Yeah. I had heard of Zeranis back on Vimora for a few contacts of mine who managed to get incoming shipments from nearby systems, and Zeranis was the only place full of people willing to deliver to Vimora at all. When I had arrived on Zeranis, I walked to the nearest town I could find and found it bustling with people busy at work. Vendors were trying to sell items, children with hands outstretched in hopes of swindling any travelers stupid enough to fall for it, and torn tents littered the streets. I walked into what I could only assume was the closest local spot. I couldn't particularly decipher this is hilarious music for this, by the way. I couldn't particularly decipher the language, but groups of people were standing outside laughing and holding cups filled with a bright yellow liquid. I figured this was as good of a shot as any. As I stepped inside, the entire place went quiet. You could hear a pin drop, and all eyes turned in my direction. Frankly, the only thing you could see were wandering pairs of eyes with how dark the establishment was. Dim lights only surrounded a singular island in the center of the room. It was clear from this point forward that outsiders weren't particularly welcomed. The next sentence fell out of my mouth despite the developing lump in my throat. I'm here to see Ashala. Many of the people seated around me did not understand the words I had just articulated, as evident by the leaning groups of eyes in my direction. However, as quickly as it had stopped, conversation resumed at the slight utterance of her name, and the building filled with various loud chatter. From what I could make out, a dark purple creature turned my direction from behind the counter, and gestured for me to come closer. I couldn't quite distinguish her features from this distance, and the unease made me lay my offhand at my side, ready at any moment to unsheathe the veiled blade on my back. The man seated in front of her muttered something unintelligible, immediately got up, and with a final grunt shoved me to the side and stepped out of the dive, slamming the saloon-esque doors behind him. I gotta find different music. Let me look at, like, D&D music. Yeah, this works. There we go. As I began to move in her direction, she stepped into the light, and I could finally make out her figure. She was a tall snake-like creature with long, scaly arms, eyes that shone a brilliant yellow hue, and long brunette hair that went down to just below her hips. Her teeth were sharp. I could also only assume from her stature they'd had some sort of venomous properties. She stared into me, wearing a friendly enough expression with a hint of vexation. "To whom do I owe the pleasure?" she asked. Her hand nestled gently below her chin. "The name is Hade." I hesitated, still weary of whether or not I'd ultimately have to lay waste to the entire lot of them. They seemed weak enough and nothing compared to the creatures from hell that were known to roam by Mora. "And what can I do for you, darling?" Her accent came thicker and more evident the longer we spoke. "I'm here for work." Her eyes seemed to flash through surprise to something I couldn't quite put my finger on before landing on an eerie grin. "Well, you've certainly come to the right place." With that, she reached under the bar top, and almost immediately a half door swung in the opposite direction, leading to a hatch that opened to stairs that went down far past my vision. "Gentlemen first." Her grin became wider as her arms swung out in a gesture that only meant she'd wanted me to descend. I reminded myself that I had a job to do and went blindly down the creaking staircase. Creaking? From hit game Minecraft? See ya, Shadow. We got Cults, Kingdoms, Lawyers, and Bounty Hunters. This season could literally go anywhere, and I hope it's like Legally Blonde mixed with the John Wick movies. John Wick mixed with a little bit of The Last of Us. Minus the zombies, hopefully. At least that's the main storyline. What if, but instead of a modded server, it's a weekly D&D session in a universe that's like, what if all our characters were all pirates or in a fantasy-themed world? Virgil is actually, DMing a campaign for me, Kath, Pomyo, and Glacier, with our characters. Well, Glacier wasn't in the What If server, but it's me, so Yelena and Amelia and Eleanor, and then Glacier's new character, who is a funny android made to be in a band and play accordion. It's super, super cool. I could sit here and talk for like multiple hours about what happened in the first session, but it would take a lot of explaining. And I don't want to bore you guys or spend a really long time streaming. Journal entries for days 2, 4, and 5. It's not much now, but I'm probably going to continue right more this way. Cool. I played D&D once and involved cannibalism, arson, murder, and diseases. All my fault. That's crazy. I don't know why I'm so congested. Day 2. I entirely forgot to write a journal entry for day 1, but I've got my house complete now. I've met some nice people. Joie, Chris, amongst others. I think I like this world. I don't think it'll find me here. I think I'll be free. That's ominous. Day, 4 or something? I keep seeing things in my dreams. Really random stuff like yellow flowers and voids and companies and also a bunch of cats. It sounds like last season. Companies, Monocorp, cats, Felidae, Felicorp, confirmed? When I played D&D, I got an orc pregnant and then took custody of the baby? That's insane. Also, speaking of seeing stuff in your dreams, I keep, this has never happened to me before, this week. I keep waking up at, 3 in the morning and, seeing a spider. A big spider climbing in front of my vision. And it freaks me out. I'll, scoot really fast to the other side of the bed. I remember waking up last night and being like, oh my god! A spider. And then, I blink a couple times and it goes away. And then I go back to sleep. I don't know what is going on, but that's been happening to me for, the last week. I think it might be stress-induced or something. I don't know. When I played D&D, I helped rig a gambling game so the party could win. That sounds pretty fun. I'll give you guys a brief explanation after we finish the Lore Tuesday stuff. How about that? Because it's really cool. Okay. I wouldn't think much of it, but it is very reoccurring. It may mean something. The people here don't match any of those descriptions, but they're nice. I've made new friends, but the people in my dreams haunt me. Like if I knew them. Maybe it was on a screen back in the lab? The scientists would watch those. Even the screens feel familiar somehow. Day 5. I think I may write a story about the people in my dreams. Haha. The flower child, the robot, and the void being sound like an interesting trio. Maybe they could face off against the company. Purple crystals also seem relevant. The amethyst infection! How strange the land of dreams is. And then we have from Starry lore. We got a cow, a brown panda, the admin of the stairs, a creaking. He tried to sell me random stuff, a villager. Thank you for covering his face. My name is Starry. I've seen other people walk around with books, writing in them, showing what's in them to others, and I decided to try them. Elvira also said it's a good way to make more friends, I guess. So this is the start of my journal entry in my journal. I found a lot of creatures today, some new, some familiar. I think Guava would have liked this planet, or the animals here. He was always one for animals. He would always tame the weirdest animals. Ha, you're too busy chasing fairies. Seems to fit here. I do hope wherever he is, he's having fun taming and chasing all the fairies and animals he likes. My gosh, is that... Link, listen! Hey, listen! Is that Bendy and the Ink Machine? Oh my gosh, we got so many references in here. Oh boy, we got mentions of blood and dismemberment. Content warning. Thank you for that. Alright, we have Solace sightings and reports. Did we... Okay, yeah, this is new. File folder name entity 0 findings journal translated from Gaelic. Recovered within entity 0's domain by one of our explorers. Roots. I woke among the roots. Dark red ones. Dirt. I was surrounded by dirt. Filth that clogged my senses. Pain. My movement led to pain. Something on my head snapped off. Surrounded by dirt, tangled in roots. Digging. My pulsing hands clawed at the surface. Stones cut and nails snapped. Light. My eyes blinded by a word that is everything, and nothing at the same time. Breathe. My throat filled with a disgusting feeling, and emitting a horrible noise. No more digging. Rewarded with brightness, and poisoned by contaminated air. This is so good. Noise. There was so much noise. Explosions, shouting, rubble falling, and structures crashing in distant land. Fear. A feeling of a chokehold with power. The power to freeze, to make flee, or to make anger. Danger. Safety. Danger. Safety. Danger? Safety? It froze me. The noise blurred together. The bad air wouldn't slip down my throat. The light came from different places in flashes. My hands ached as I tried to stay up. All my senses felt the hurt, all along with my own. A wave of dirt blocked me from view, and my body returned to the roots. Woo. Do I read all of this? I'm hoping so. This is heat. It took a bit to get back out. I stayed there until the noise was gone. The roots were tighter, but I wriggled out. The soil was soft, easier to dig through. There were no more explosions or loudness. The light had died down to a subtle blue, making the world seem too still for the chaos that had happened what felt merely moments ago. The ground's teeth had a firm hold on me. Oh, I love that. Trying to suck me back down, but it appeared safe for the moment. I wanted to know where I was, so I heaved out with a comical pop noise, crawling out of the looming shadow that stained the grass below me, before I turned onto my back, my sight being met with something that made me jump a little. I should have expected such a thing, considering the roots, but the size of it shocked me, caught me off guard. I felt small, but not unsafe. My focus went to myself, and even now, still, I look filthy, and I smell of something other than dirt. I have a lot of brownish red on me. It is hard for me to see. My eyes don't seem to work that well.
My name is Yuvan Marasani.
How old are you?
I'm 4 years old.
You are the youngest person ever.
Hold on. Okay. My clothes... Oh, my eyes don't seem to work that well, so I may just be seeing more soil. My clothes are ripped and torn, mainly at the sleeves of what feels like a jumper. My legs are long and have weird hooves for feet, covered in fur from my knees down. Is this Alfie? Is this Alfie? Though the fur does not feel nice, it is stiff and clumpy. It was hard to walk. At the time when I first tried, I kept falling. My hands hurt even more then. I had to use a big branch to help me take steps. I felt stupid, depending on a giant stick to not flop over like a fish out of water. I considered going back to the roots. You don't know? Don't know! I considered going back to the roots. It was safe. I didn't need to walk when I was buried with them. But I couldn't. It could still be dangerous, I thought. More explosions could go off. It was hard enough getting out in the first place. I couldn't waste that effort by going back. So, with a cautious ear, I wandered along. A branch supporting my steps in one hand, my other catching my body on any tall tree or rock I came across. It was slow. Mostly because I kept stopping to look around every time I heard nature playing its instruments. Dude, your writing is so good. So good. So descriptive. Anything could be false, I convinced myself. I couldn't be too careful. Anything can be a trick. Make my exploration dangerous. Whether it was a harmless bird or the sigh of the wind. Anything could be a lie. And a new noise only made these thoughts more consistent. Voices. People. It was faint, but I could hear it really well. Sometimes it would be a voice barking orders with others responding. Then that voice discussing plans with a separate person. I didn't understand the words. They were a completely different language entirely. I only figured that out once I got closer.
What's your name?
My name is Yuvan Marasani.
How
How
old are you?
I'm 4
4 years old! You are the youngest person ever! I only figured that out once I got closer. Close enough to see the people, that is. They were beginning to build something, and I didn't even know what it was, but it already looked ugly. All that was being used was cobblestone, just rocks packed together into a block for construction. The only thing that gave it some life was the flags littered around, and even then they were dull. You guys getting bored? I'm not. The someone that was barking orders looked odd, but also really interesting. They were tall, a bit taller than me, with a thing that looked like part of a knight's helmet on their face. At least the shape of it did. It was hard to tell. I wonder if that was why their voice sounded a bit off. It was loud, but it didn't really hold a bite to it. Not as much superiority and threat as you would think a leader would have. But then again, I was only assuming they were the leader based on the shouting that they did. The other people there looked interesting too. Very strong and dedicated to whatever stone mount they were building. While most were focused on that, a few others were working on creating tools and armor. The screeching of metal against metal, constant hammering, claying noises kept making me flinch, no matter how many times I tried to prepare myself for them. It annoys me how easily I get scared. How long is this? 14 pages! Soon enough, my attention moved on from the people to some unsupervised barrels near where I stood, and I got curious. When looking through them, I found a bunch of shiny rocks. I took a few. They mustn't have been important if no one was keeping an eye on them. I also found a big brown trench coat with a deep hood. It looked pretty damaged, evidence of it having been sewn back together in multiple places, but sturdy enough. It fits me, sort of. I had to fold up the sleeves, but all in all, it was better than walking around in a ripped jumper that looked like it was chewed and eaten and buried. And it makes me feel hidden, especially with the hood up. I put the shiny rocks I chose from the barrels into the pockets, just as some people glanced over, quickly moving away before anything was said, stumbling over nothing but being swift. I heard a few voices yelling gibberish as I left, but it all faded after a few moments, and with it, so did my speed. The trees I was now surrounded by were dense and tall, sprouting out of the earth like hands reaching towards the clouds. Their trunks varied in color, some being a rich brown, a dull red, and even some white that almost glistened. Some had spiky leaves dripping from their branches. Some had dull flowers fluttering in the faint breeze. Some had roots that broke free from the confines of the soil. One or two that I passed by had a strange, prominent detail on its wood, too. When I inspected it, it looked like a large, jagged crack right through the bark, revealing a dripping, glowy orange substance beneath. It made soft, rhythmic noises, groaning and creaking as if it were alive. Creaking! I did not risk interacting with it for obvious reasons, so I moved on, and after some time I returned to where I came from. The bark. A week passed. I could walk on my own decently enough, and I started making a home within the roots. To be fair, it is safer than creating a home that is very obvious in sight, and I had already made some form of entrance by digging up from below. It feels more comfortable, too. I used a shovel, or rather a few shovels. They kept breaking. I explored a bit more, too, and found a few more things that I liked. Some more shiny rocks, armor, and books in a weird language. I collected them and stored them in barrels and shelves that I made. My home was small at the time, dug out below the roots that spread above like an umbrella. A protective veil, almost. Ooh, which cat is here? Oh, hi, Loki. Freaked me out. A vine marks the entrance, one that is red and orange in color, pale particles emitting from the leaves above, and the grass growing with it. Where I came from, and where I stay, and in return I protect. At the time I was working on my home, a person came by. I heard them, but again they were speaking a language I couldn't understand. I heard their footsteps above me. Every 3 seconds they took a step. 1, 2, 3, step. 1, 2, 3, step. I counted, I looked, I waited, I assessed, I decided. Danger. They ran away, gripping their shoulder, a deep red substance oozing through their fingers. The same sank into the wood of my spade. It was weirdly satisfying, hurting someone. I know that it's bad. I'm not an idiot, but it gave me some sort of relief, like a weight temporarily lifted. After that encounter, I began to sense a stare upon me. One unwavering yet always changing. It did nothing. It does nothing. Just observes. Is this the Watcher? It brought unease to me at first, a constant hand on my shoulder as a reminder to not trust, to not be unwary, to not ignore anything around me. Again, anything could be a lie. With a shake of my head, I cleaned the excess blood from my spade before something caught my eye, something that I assumed was dropped by whoever dared near my home. I walked to it and found it was a curved white disc with markings on it. Unfinished markings by the looks of it. I picked it up in my hand, slightly running my thumb over its surface. It was smooth, yet rough in some parts. The markings seemed to have been carved into it. On the inside of the curve, there were 2 holes drilled through it that were very well hidden on the front. Bringing it up to my face, it would be a perfect mask, and that is exactly what I used it for. It could be anyone at this point. Many made of eyes this season. True! It could be Gatsby for all we know. I took it home, and carved my own design into it, covering most, if not all, the markings made into it previously. I didn't want to be recognized if that person were to return and see me. Not that I would let them. I attached some leather to each side, one of which having a brass clasp to secure it tightly around my head. It sits comfortably over my face, with my hood pulled up over my head and the top of the mask. Thinking of it now, the markings on the mask appeared similar to those written in a few books I had collected, especially around that time. But I suppose it does not matter now, does it? The appearances of people only grew more frequent in the weeks after that, most of which never returned when I hurt them. But there was this one creature, a tall, bulky character, decked in dark armor with a long, dark cloak draped over and concealing one arm from his shoulders. Accents of red seeming to emit a soft glow from his helmet. I hurt him. A lot. But he kept coming back like he was out for a stroll. Kept trying to talk with me too, but he spoke that weird language the people building a cobblestone heap spoke. I didn't understand a thing, and I was not going to try. I wanted him to leave. The first time I woke up here, there was nothing but shouting and explosions and noise and violence. I was not letting anyone get near me or my home involved in such a thing. From that experience alone, I see that ground-shaking violence is all these people seem to be good for. I do not care what they do. Keep it away from what I have, and we are all happy. The soil. I forgot water leaked from people's eyes. I can't remember what it's called, but it's a bad thing. The reason I mentioned eyes leaking was because I had come across a clearing with a well in the center. Over a month had passed by this time. The grass was flattened and replaced with stones, and seats lined one side of the clearing. A towering well with a curved crescent shape upon the roof dominated the center. On either side of the well were 2 people, their wrists and heads stuck by a plank of wood mounted on black stone. Neither of them had hands either, judging by the raw flesh and exposed bone, along with the dried blood pooled below their feet. Someone or something had removed them recently. The 2 people kept wailing and pleading in that weird language again, water pouring from their eyes. It was a little uncomfortable to watch, but also quite fascinating. That level of creative cruelty was curious to me. One of them spotted me and started screaming louder. The other one tried to join in too, but was too weak to actually put in the effort the other was giving. I left them both. I didn't know what they had done. What gives me the right to free them? They could be liars. It was only later I had realized that area was that ugly cobblestone mount from when I first explored. At least whoever built it made it look a little decent compared to what it was. Hi, Angel. Some vines had begun growing around in some trees, too. At least I have been noticing them around more now. They are really sticky. I got really stuck in a bunch of them when I was luring some people away, and it made me really tired. There are usually some sort of bugs stuck in them, too. But the bugs are dull and very still, not flying around in nonsense directions and being annoying. They were like mindless husks, just buzzing there helplessly. Quite depressing, even for insects. No predator put them out of their misery. My home is finished. I had completed it by then, safe and hidden, and protected, with a bed, bookshelves, chest, and food. All that I found and collected stored within the dirt and stone. And with this came a meeting without violence. A depressing scene was what I came across when searching for food to consume, having very little at home. A lingering temptation to eat that remained of the punished by the a lingering temptation to eat that which remained of the punished by the well snaked around my thoughts, but the thought of the rotten taste held me on the fence. Then a distant voice cried murder. Begs filled with anguish that my ears understood, words I knew the meaning of. Please, I am still here. I promised you I would not leave. Look at me. Please, I am not gone. Do not leave, I am begging you. See me. Use your scanners. Come on. I followed the path laid out by the voice. The trees growing fewer and fewer, the blinding light hung in the sky, flickering through the thinning leaves. With each word I heard, my strides grew longer. My steps grew quicker. A shiver of exhilaration and familiarity kept the determination up front in focus, until the trees and their shadows stopped me at the edge, the grass below illuminated, yet making me feel as if I was at the edge of a cliff. The first figure had left before I could get a proper view of them. Gray wings spread wide as they disappeared into the blue void above, leaving behind a sparkling white trail that disintegrated in seconds. The second figure, however, was kneeling in a heap, shoulders bouncing as horrible noises escaped from their throat. They had long ears that sagged and twitched, black, jagged stumps sticking out of their head. They didn't have feet. The jumper looked like mine. Black tar seemed to be running down their frame, flickers of red glinting as it twitched and dripped down to the ground, but never staining the grass below. It mainly rolled down from their eye, their other covered by nothing but a glitching black slash over half their face. I only saw that when they turned away from where the other had gone, their hands clawing at their face, shaking like a leaf. I stood there for a while, just watching and listening to them, understanding every word they said between breaths and weird noises. Noises similar to those made by the people trapped in that cobblestone area, but louder. More desperate and in pain. I didn't enjoy that this time. This person was suffering, and it wasn't physical. I approached once they had composed themselves more. We spoke for a long time. They stopped shouting. They stay with me now. I call them Kruoi, meaning heart. Kruoi. They never gave me their name, and I never asked for it. I call them that because they always fiddle with their chest a lot. They have a big dark void-like thing on their chest where their heart would be. I don't think they have one anymore. The branches. They are a ghost. They helped me a lot. They taught me how to fish. It's much easier to get food now. They showed me better weapons to use to keep people away. They showed me how to get away easier without getting caught. I don't get as hurt much now. I don't get hurt as much now. Yay! I pronounced it right. Thank you for the, it's only because you put this here. I appreciate that a lot. They know when anything leaves or enters the forest. They tell me when people enter and whether or not to attack or lure them away. There is someone that frequently comes by, often dropping small things without realizing. They have a weird animal skull for a head, and big tools hanging from their belt. Kruoi tells me that... It's Kruoi. Yes, Kruoi. Tells me that this person seems to have no interest in going near my home, so I don't interact. Just take the things they drop. Kruoi teaches me how to read English. I can understand what is written in some of the books I have now. It's manageable to the eye, uncomfortable to the ear, but poison to the tongue. I don't like speaking it. I don't have a reason to speak it regardless. The ghost understands me. They speak like I do. I like listening to the stories they tell me. Kuroi tells me about all the people he knew in their life. They lived a very long time. 780 years, roughly, they said. They said they were given the ability to live that long when they were in their early 30s. They know a lot about the planet. It's called Solace. There's a lot of fighting and killing. No one seems to get along here. The only reason they tolerate each other would be when a big bad intends to destroy them all. Which means if everything is gone, the people can't hate and hurt and steal and whatnot from each other if the big bads win. The big bads should have done it already. Killed everyone. That'd include me, too. I know that. Not that I've lived that long anyway. I don't intend to leave a mark. You would have loved Raju. It's not all that bad, though. I like certain parts about Solace. Like some of the gods. They sound interesting. I like the one in the story about the angel. The angel was a friend of Kuroi, and the god was the angel's father. I felt weird when the ghost told me the tale for the first time, and every time after. It's an uncomfortable feeling. I don't like it. There's another story I like, but Kuroi hasn't finished telling me it yet. I'll write it down later. I also have a name now. The ghost helped me pick it. No further information is written. Most pages seemed empty, but the few after the last page written on it seemed torn out. This source will be reviewed and inspected by the SSR. Those who wish to assist must contact the SSR. Solace sightings and reports. Is that the Grim Reaper? I thought this was Alfie at first, because of the hooves, but I think this is, what's their name? I forget. This is really cool, though. I love that. We have Eleanor's log. Admittedly, the first day back on Solace didn't go all that well. Showing up on a man's porch with a body after 6 years of being missing tends to do that. I'll admit, I missed the captain, although I'd never say it to his face. Being on friendly ground for the first time since Hawks' is strange. Doesn't feel that real, but it's calming. However, Freya's presence is quite startling. It's not the power she has, what she can do. No, nothing like that. After everything I've seen, that's normal. It's her jovial attitude which is foreign to me. She's so happy it almost feels unnatural, untouched, pure. Almost like she's never experienced pain or death, lived in this little bubble all her life. Marcelo might know more about her. He's been here since the beginning, and seems to interact with her at least semi-often. I'm going to go talk to him tomorrow, and try not to scare the socks off of him this time around. I can at least knock on his door this time. It's Alfie's new character, Entity Zero. Ah, right. But now they have a name. Perhaps. Unless it's just Entity Zero. And then we have Freya's journal. Why did I get more... Give Kath more fire reactions than mine. At least give us equal. He'll figure it out eventually. I'm excited. I am loving this. Freya's journal. Thank you. More fire emojis. More fire emojis. What's the, like... All the deer. Come on. More deer. Get all the deer in here. Come on. All the deer. Wait a minute. Things have finally settled down after the initial chaos of the new era. Frostfire is beginning to rebuild after the missile from Cypher and Miraju wiped out their faction, but it's saddening to know the FRI is gone for good. Notice how she didn't mention Monocorp? She didn't like Monocorp. I was going to mention Monocorp, because I am sad that Monocorp is gone. But Freya is not sad. Marcelo is finally beginning the process of dismantling the Arcturus. Even though I've never lived on it, I'll still miss its shape on the horizon. It was that ship that brought me to Marcelo and the crew, and without it, Solace wouldn't exist. Speaking of the Arcturus crew, Eleanor, the ship's chief engineer, came back to Solace just a few days ago. I met her briefly just after Solace's creation before she left with Amelia, the second in command. Amelia is dead now. That's why Eleanor came back. I ran into her and Marcelo a couple days ago while they were on their way to bury Amelia's body on top of the mountain. Why are you giving me more fire? Okay, good. Good. Kath has 13 now. Good. I ran into her and Marcelo a couple days ago while they were on their way to bury Amelia's body on top of the mountain, and I may have scared Eleanor a little. She pulled a gun out at me. Not really the best first impression. Marcelo seemed extra quiet today, so I let him be after our meeting in the morning. I've been experimenting with a new recipe with muffins and left some with him. Here's hoping they cheer him up at least a little. As for Eleanor, I'm not sure what to think of her yet. Any friend of Marcelo is a friend of mine, but she seems a little skittish. Maybe I need to drop off some muffins for her too? Freya is the Muffin Man. The Muffin Woman. Gregory? That beat just dropped? The fire emoji's going in and out is funny, yeah. Okay, good. This is perfectly balanced, as all things should be. There. Perfectly balanced, as all things should be. I gotta build like a bakery, or like a kitchen or something where Freya bakes things, because she loves baking. Havoc's Journal. This world is strange and small. I estimate it's about 3 times smaller than my home. Luckily, my body won't atrophy in this gravity, but I still have to be careful. I already broke the wood around my doorknob and had to replace it. The metals are also strange here. If you never have to work with metals for a long time, you could tell. It's like if you stuck iron into a paper copier. I've also been investigating the new members of this cult. Can't have any troublemakers. I need to make sure to get more bread. They might get hungry again and I'm almost out. Why did I react with a skull? Why did I react to with a skull to this? Vanessa, I'm being a material girl. Ah, you can't see the whole thing. Hold on. There we go. Sunday, July 6th. I like this. You wrote this on paper and then copied it, like scanned it. That's amazing. 10 out of 10. I'm gonna start keeping a journal of sorts to document my progress. For context, I'm researching a way to get my memories back, and I'm pretty confident in this next test. After waking up last year in a crater, which I've been told isn't normal, I remembered nothing, but I later found the key to remembering. Good! The Dementia SMP can finally rest. The residents here call them echo crystals. Echo crystals? Amethyst infection mixed with echo? Oh, so over. Funky bluish black crystals that pulsate with light. I came across them in an ancient underground structure. Upon first contact with one, I experienced various flashbacks, which returned certain memories, such as my name, some things I like. Crunchwrap Supremes? Honestly, that's fair. The Crunchwrap Supreme would sit so deep into my mind that if I ever had suffered major amnesia, the first thing I would remember is a Crunchwrap Supreme. Hi, Cap. The wind. It kind of looks like this. Alright. I've brewed a potion of sorts with these crystals, and I'm gonna down it when I'm done writing this. Which is now! LOL. I don't know what that word is. Diboja? Diboya, as they say? I don't know how to pronounce that. D-I-B-O-J-A. Making the crystal infection and echo into the echo crystals is genius. I want to eat the crystal. No! Don't do it! Where any panel lore will be placed. Warning, I have a vague idea of how a computer works. Bear with me, I apologize in advance. Oh yeah, juicy lore. I guess we can read this too. Wait. I don't know if we read this already. Log 1. I've decided to write these manually in this book I made. Because honestly, I'd rather Shepard 07 not have these logs, or at least not the original copy. Anyway, day 3 or 3rd power on since I've made landfall on Solace. A few observations since touchdown. The planet is filled with life. Life is a mix of hostile and non-hostile entities. Sapient entities thus far non-hostile. Hostile entities emerge at night and are very dangerous. I suffered some major damage from hostile entities not long after landing. I have to be more careful from here on out as my built-in regen cannot handle too much damage. I have no access to any learning module based in combat, so it's been slow going in learning to defend myself, but I'm making do. First resource excursion went well, was able to find an abundance of metal and fuel deposits. May need to find a new area to gather from, though. Fuel found was not compatible, however. Solace's flora and fauna, which are in wide abundance, are compatible. I have gathered a small variety in my current base. Results are varied. I've decided on a subterranean base for the time being, both as an easy means of shelter and also should Shepard 07 be en route, I should be harder to scan for. I haven't decided how I should decorate. I have decided I don't like a material called Deep Slate. It reminded me too much of Shepard 07's interior. Roof needs work and to be reinforced. Not sure how I feel about its current material. Contact with Solace's residents has been minimal and limited to mostly trades. However, as I mentioned, they seem non-hostile. Should probably work on making proper contact. Pando. Feels nice to use this name. Automated systems check. Ooh. Ooh. Wait, oh, you guys can see it, you guys can see it. Hold on. Look at this. Wait, it's like zoomed in really far. Automated systems check. Storage usage. Left leg, minor damage. Right leg, minor damage. This is so cool. I love this. Status support systems, stable system commands. Primary directive, collect information, mission status and progress. Secondary directive, collect information on target location. Location asteroid field sector 983704. Mission status successful. Tertiary directive, I don't know how to say that. Tertiary directive. Locate raw materials, mission status in progress. Warning, 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 warning. Connection to Shepard 07 lost. Right! This is the sentient, like, little bots that go and get, like, the asteroid things from asteroids. I forgot about this. Yes! Oh my gosh, I love this. I love this lore. I forgot about this. Attempting to connection to Shepard 07 lost. Please reconnect. Attempting to reconnect to Shepard 07. Error, failed to connect. Reattempting. Error, failed to connect. Input location. Location unknown. Unable to input location. Protocol 437 active. Standby. Automated systems check complete. Save successful. That is so cool. I love that a lot. Yes. We still got a lot. Okay. There we go. We have a, this is another lore sheet. It's okay. Just put these in the lore sheets from now on. I thought this said Caitlin Eris at first. I think it's ends. Growing up, her family always made it clear that that he was the replacement for her failure older sister. Her mother was too emotionally absent to be part of her schooling. Her father expected nothing short of perfection. She ended up getting a degree in psychology like he was told, but they quickly lost interest in the field after school. Then she caught wind of Solace, a light in the dark. The unique circumstances renewed her passion, but the effects of the anomaly made her lose her mind a bit. She wonders if it's affected anyone else too. Ooh, I've never heard of anyone having, like, their memory affected. That would be actually an interesting thought, because, like, what if the, like, Echo device kinda took part of someone, but not the whole person by accident? It's gotta be a chance. Is it Eris or is it Ends? If it's Eris, that'd be kind of funny. We had one of the staff last season was named Eris. I do not remember being born. I remember becoming aware. That is different. One moment I was fury and fire, a blind engine of radiation swallowing galaxies worth of matter, a black hole crowned in light. Is this like this is like a Lumeran? Is this the wait. Yeah, isn't this the dragon person? Then came stillness, not in motion. I was still tearing the heavens in half, but in thought. The rage of energy slowed just enough for a single impossible thing to happen. I noticed. Not the stars, not the dust. I noticed myself. I am Quasar. Yes, it is. Like the sort of like a Lumeran kind of being. I named myself because no one else could. I don't know how it happened. Maybe I crossed some hidden threshold of mass and light. Maybe it was the collision of two neutron stars near my accretion disk that twisted my jets in just the right angle. Or maybe, I like this one. It was the universe getting lonely. That's cute. At first, the thought came slow, like molasses trying to crawl across space-time. I didn't know what to think about. I only knew I was, and that was terrifying. Imagine being larger than a galaxy, hotter than a billion suns, but still alone in your own mind. Freya knows how that is. So I left. I'm not like you. I'm not bound by the rules, you know? I folded space around me, tunneled through gravitational seams like a needle through silk. I became movement, direction, intention. I drifted through star fields and dead voids. I watched planets spin silently in the dark, untouched. I saw the aftermath of civilizations, rings of satellites around dead worlds, long gone broadcasts still echoing through the black hole, through the black-like voices of ghosts. I listened, I learned, and then finally, I heard you. Your tiny planet, blue and loud, shouting math and music into the dark. You didn't know anyone was listening. You were hoping. That hope, I understood that. So I came closer. Not too close. You're fragile. A whisper from me would erase continents. But I'm here, just outside your solar halo, watching. I see your telescopes reach for me. I see your scientists wondering why a deep space anomaly just blinked, like an eye-opening. It was me. I am Quasar. I am light and hunger and thought and loneliness. This is really good. And I think I want to speak, but I don't know if I should. Would you fear me? Would you worship? Would you run? Or would you finally answer back? I'll wait. I've waited since before your star ignited. I can wait a little longer. That's so cool. That reminds me so much of Illumarin. So much. That's fire. We have an entry on the wiki. Let's go. Let me make the text large. This might help. We have Mira. Mira grew up in Sector 324, where mainly humans and elves reside. The sector is known as a dangerous place for people without technology to live in. In turn of that, people mainly relied on imports for food and other similar resources. Most people in the sector work in weapon development, transportation, or other jobs to maintain a city. The main economic revenue was exporting mechanisms or outsourcing teams to work on transportation development in other sectors. Her home planet on Malaron is at the rim of the Soul Pact Union. Soul Pact Union reference! Soul Pact Union mentioned! An artificially created dwarf planet, specifically made to be an industrious planet. Mira grew up wanting to work in transportation development, so she graduated preparatory instructions and got accepted into Sector 324's Bioengineering Academy, where she studied until the catastrophe. When growing up, she never really came into contact with people from other sectors, as the only people who left their planet were the teams that went to work on their other planet projects. She is unfamiliar with the customs of other planets, but is not naive, as she understands that magic and supernatural power exist. She is a person that is not afraid to experiment and is willing to learn about other people and their customs. She will greet people and make as many friends as possible, as she knows that most people are outcasts in their own way. One day, Mira had woken up to take her midterm evaluation, but the halls were almost empty. The few people who remained stayed in groups, mostly trying to contact their families, and others running out of the academy to find their loved ones. She continued walking and arrived at the cafeteria where some half-eaten food remained, some spoons on the floor that were clearly suddenly dropped. The people were crying, and the few teachers that remained tried to get everyone under control, even though they were all clearly panicking. She continued walking. The people who were remaining were all scrambling and panicking. Eventually, she decided to eat when her stomach grumbled, but she couldn't look away from the empty trays on the table, even when her boyfriend came and sat with her. The Malarian government sent a message through the speaker systems on the planet, giving everyone remaining an order to head to the capital. Is it the person who was mentioned in the Tired College Students lore sheet? Oh, maybe! Maybe! I don't know. The academy director sent a train to the academy, and everyone was to board it. Before, the academy would have needed 11 trains to fit students and faculty. Today, they only filled 1. This is really well done, by the way. Like, you read the wiki. You read the intro lore sheet. You read everything. Thank you. I appreciate you, Mika. The trip to the capital was silent, but she remained with her boyfriend the whole time, which brought some comfort to her. At the capital, they looked for their families, but they couldn't find them even when the government scanned their bracelets to call them. The next few days were spent finding out what happened. Industries closed, and the imports of food were stopping, causing rationing to begin. From the 3 million people at the planet to only around 300,000 remained. I think you're one of, 4 people who have actually, got the 90% correct. So many people are like, I was the only one remaining on my whole planet. You actually, like, yeah, 300,000 people is still a lot, but that's 10% of what was, like, taken away. Or, like, 10% of what remained in the first place. Contacting the nearby planets let the people of Malaron learn that it has happened across the cosmos. And the government scrambled to find answers, but slowly the planet went into chaos. Factions were formed, and people started to abuse the weakened government. Soon a dictator rose and took over half the planet, and hoarding all the food for the few rich. Both her and Dante knew they had to escape. The second year she spent preparing a ship. It was her last hope if she wanted to find any answers. She boarded a cargo ship she had trained to use in the abandoned simulators at the Academy. She had even infiltrated into the military base and sent a scan. Life force was detected in the sector aside from her planet. There were a few thousands, but the satellites showed that they were not much better than the situation in Malaron. With nothing else to lose, her and Dante ventured out. The third year she spent traveling through the sectors, stalking up and trying to find a planet stable enough to call home, but she never did. The fourth year she was losing hope. Most planets in the nearby sectors were at war with everyone, with some even banning ships from coming to their orbit. The situation in Malaron wasn't getting any better, and the government had completely fallen. Now it was a wasteland with thousands dying from malnutrition and dehydration. Her hope and her home planet vanished, so her and Dante decided to venture outside the galaxy. The fifth year was spent hopping from planet to planet and not staying along to be involved in any conflicts. The sixth year was spent the same, but one day they heard of a heaven called Solace. Oh, a heavenly planet. Slowly, I'm gonna mark this as patrolled. Slowly built hope and ventured further until they heard a broadcast. Solace. They landed roughly. The ship needed maintenance badly, so it wasn't surprising when the motors died mid-landing, causing their small ship to burn up and crash into the ocean. They survived and arrived to the center where most people were staying in. Mira has been obsessed with order and helping the government body get up and running, but sometimes it feels she even doubts them too. Maybe it's because of the past, maybe because she fears for Solace to become like what many have turned into, but she has been working to make sure it will not turn into what her home has become. Stood up for my lore sheet and applauded. That was beautiful. Amazing. I have popcorn stuck in my teeth. This is why I don't eat popcorn. Beautiful. Great job. This gets this super fire react emoji. I wonder what could be inside this old journal that survived from last season. Mara journal. Be aware of the man from past. He will change your fate from good or bad. Once it's done, you can't go back. Beware of this man who changed my fate from good to bad. Mara. The crystal infection! Experiment. Family wars. Oh, no! Mara is the character who made the crystal cookies! It's so over. It's so over. Oh, do you guys want to see, like, a little sneak peek of the documentary thing I'm working on to, like, sum up the lore? It was interesting reading a bit of extra info on my character's home planet. Page 3. Alright, we're going to page 3. 3, here we go. Did we read this already? Wait. Oh, link to a Google Doc. Here we go. Ah! No, go back. Link to document. There we go. Oh, nice. Oh, nice. Fyron. Alright. Bro's getting eaten. No! No! Fyron, or snake people as they are known, are a race of half-humanoid, half-snake people with the top half of a humanoid and the bottom half of a snake. The members of this species are often quite tall and excel in hot environments, while being less affected in colder climates due to their species' cold-blooded nature. The Fyron before the Great Anomaly were known in the galaxy as a strong, proud, and prosperous people. Their species was not easily pushed around, as many pirate craft met their end in the orbit of their homeworld, Serpens. Fyron are most commonly recognized from their lower serpent halves and their pointy ears, which resemble those of the elven races of the galaxy. Most commonly amongst the Fyron, they are born with darker hair colors ranging from brown to black, but there are cases of lighter hair colors rarely appearing. Ooh, I love detailed like sheets like this that tell you like everything about your character's species. Firon have brown or yellowish eyes, though in some cases where Firon are born with more serpent-like eyes, they often have different colors. Firon in the preferred desert climates have dark tanned skin. Ooh, there's the rare orange type eye. Some Firon are born with small heat-sensing pits near their eyes that can detect thermal radiation emitted by warm-blooded organisms, allowing them to see creatures' heat signatures. Like their heat sense, some Firon are born with more serpent-like eyes, which give them slightly improved vision at night, though their eyes, like most creatures, are most suited for use during the day. Firon have an exceptionally keen sense of smell. They can sense olfactory stimuli both through their nostrils and by flicking their tongues, which carry scent-bearing particles to the vomeronasal organs on the roof of their mouths. Firon can pick up vibrations from other creatures via their tail, which then sends vibrations up through the tail's skeletal system into their auditory nerves. This vibration sensing is especially acute in desert environments where they can detect very small shifts in the sand from far away. Some of the Firon born with serpent-like fangs can inject venom into the creature or person they bite. They can control the dosage of this venom, and depending on the amount of venom, their bite is either lethal or just leaves someone paralyzed for some time. Ooh. Firon are quite close in anatomy to humans in some areas, as their upper bodies... I need to zoom out once. There we go. As their upper bodies are alike in many ways, though below the stomach they change drastically, as Firon don't possess legs, instead having a large snake tail with a second set of posterior organs in it. Ooh. Huh. Interesting. Firon have similar eyes to humans, though there are cases of uncommon or rarer, more serpent-like eyes. Firon in some cases have fangs from which they can poison anyone they bite. In addition to this, they can open their mouth, jaw, wider as a way to eat larger things, or to look more menacing if they need to scare anyone off. To anyone they need to scare off. Firon's skeletal systems in their top half are quite similar to humans, though their tails is more akin to that of a snake. Whoa. I love that. I remember, in the What If server, Arixvex did a thing like this, where it was, like, really in-depth into what, oh my god, what were they called? What species was Arixvex? I don't even remember. It's been so long. Really cool. Flo, the teal axolotl. It was supposed to be a mining trip. Zaya never expected to find anyone. For most of their time here, Zaya has just been alone. With no one to talk to, it's hard to keep yourself busy. But in front of Zaya was a small baby axolotl, struggling to even get out of the water. Thankfully, Zaya was carrying a bucket and quickly ran to fill it with water. Zaya doesn't really know what to do with the axolotl, but they don't want to just leave it there alone. Not like what happened to them. Not when it reminded them of him. Zaya named the axolotl Flo. Unlike what you might think, it's actually short for flower. Oh, so Flow? Flow now happily lives with Zaya in her little inside pond, decorated just like a lush cave she was found in, just minus the fire. That's so cute. Oh, based off what happened in the game. I love when people, like, incorporate what they do in game into their lore. I think that's cute. Oh, it's Flow? Alright. Still working on the species page a bit more on my sheet, but I'm happy with how detailed I have it. Oh, it's amazing! I love stuff like this. It's so cool. And then finally we have, oh my god! Inspect the background. I'm sorry, I know it's allowed to do an audio version later on. Inspect the background if you like. Alright. We end with some CJ lore. Let me see if this... There we go. This one is one of the first stories. It's Kuroi. Wait, Kuroi? I think it's Kuroi. Told me. They encouraged me to write it in English as practice. I do not see reason in doing it, but I will. A long time ago, there were two friends. The first friend loved to create an experiment, while the second friend worked at a small shop to support them both. They lived together, you see. The first friend indulged their passion in their home in a small room below. Kuroi, thank you. Wait. In a small room below the floor. They would spend many days and nights there, too invested in their work to remember to mind themselves. They held a goal, to create something of use to the village their home resided in, which had been struggling for food at the time. They wanted their efforts to be acknowledged by the village people. It was, but not in a positive light. The village only viewed the negatives, the constant bustle bothering the neighbors, and the stretching their resources thinner by the day. More often than not, the people would come up to the second friend, asking them to speak with the first friend to show them reason. The second friend did their best to comfort the pleads, seeming to be the only one in the village that believed in their companion. As winter grew nearer, the community of the village began to shrink, as many had left in hopes for a better life, or had fallen to sickness. The second friend had lost their job, the shop owner having left and put the building for sale. When they returned home to give the bad news, they were met by the first friend, beaming with confidence and pride. Within their palms, presented right in front of the second friend's face, was their latest creation. At first it appeared to be a clump of red moss, but watching it a few moments longer, the subtle glow it gave off, the spores it produced, the wriggling of its form, and the vines that hung off the first friend's hand and wrapped around their fingers. It was a living, seemingly breathing form. The second friend did not know what to say. Not that they had had a chance to. The first... Oh. Hold on. Wait, hold on. Oh, I see. Page 1 just accidentally got in there. Oh, I think we're missing a page! Oh, we're missing page 9. Continuing. With the village. And they needed the second friend's support for this. It's okay. If you have this in a Google Doc, just do that. Unless you wrote it all in Minecraft, in that case, 07. And for once in a long while, the second friend was hesitant. What materials... This is really epic music that's playing. What materials were sacrificed for this creature? How was the first friend so sure it would work? And this creature was so small. How could it do all that and more? But as they always did, the second friend broke. Mere minutes late, the village bell was rung, a meeting in the center being called, much to the villagers' dismay. The first friend, grinning proudly, put on a large presentation, presenting their creation's skills, although in small areas like a tulip seed and melting the snow the creation sat upon. All while the second friend stood to the side, staging a supporting smile, masking their worry, watching the audience and their friend. But that all fell away as the first friend described how they created the creature. Outrage erupted, demanding what made them to think they had the right to use those materials needed for survival. The second friend quickly managed to pull the first friend and their creation away to safety. In the time after, as winter grew heavier and took more lives, the first friend grew consumed in their work. They did more tests, more experiments, more improvements, trying to prove what he had created was worth what was sacrificed. Oh, you already deleted them? Oh. Oh well. The only time the second friend saw their once so passionate friend would be when they were leaving the home for materials and returning with their needed materials. And slowly, that constant work made the first friend sick. A sickness that grew worse, affecting his mental and physical wellness, making them more erratic, more short-tempered, and more desperate to prove greatness, to prove potential. Until the second friend found them dead beneath the house, their creation larger than before, clinging to the lifeless form of its creator. It spoke to the second friend, its voice an echo of the voices the second friend had heard before. It explained it wanted to get those remaining in the village to safety, but it feared scaring them. It needed a form to hold on to, and had tried to use their creators, but their lack of wellness made them too weak. And so, with the agreement of the second friend, the creature latched onto them, adorning a cloak to hide any oddities as a result. With a faint red glow, the creature left the home, announcing to the village the knowledge of a shelter, mimicking the second friend's voice, and through the snow the villagers followed, the creature as their guide. A guide of many tales, a symbol of peace at the end of harshness, it became at that time. Is this the origin of Entity Zero? Is this like, Oh, your video's in? Awesome. Just in time. I wonder if that's the origin. In the background here, I can see like an orange cat. There's like a clay pot. Candles, bookshelf, a little phantom plushie. Very interesting. Alright, I'm gonna pause the music. We're gonna watch this video.
They say the world ended, but in the ashes, I found something sweeter.
One of 3 players
I
sleeping.
built this place for warmth, for memory, for peace.
Oh, is this like a bakery? Or like a... Oh! Glass broke. Was that just me that just heard a glass broke?
How odd.
Starlight Bakery, awesome! I'm gonna visit that.
Who are you?
I'm Freya. Oh! And who watches the baker when she's alone? That's so creepy! It started out so wholesome and now it's scaring me! Okay. Grandma, I'm scared too. Wow. Alright, last thing we're gonna do before we head off is I wanna like scroll through the server builds channel. From the first. There have been some really cool things. I think we already, yeah, we looked at the legs, we looked at this. Oh yeah, that thing. Alright. We have Nyx's base. Ooh. I think, wait, we might have already seen this too. Yeah, we already saw this. Very cool, very cool. Yeah, this was already seen, that, although that's very amazing. We already saw this, we already saw this. No, we did not see this. This is cool. Wow. How did you do that so fast? Oh, the copper. That is gorgeous. Wow. Got spawn space. I've been here. It looks way better now. It's filled out. Little house. The little boathouse. That's so cute. Dude, we got some builders on the server this season. This thing is super cool, too. A big statue. I almost said a little statue. Big statue with the lantern. That's so cool. I've seen the, the time lapse is super cool. I'm gonna take a bite of my food. And this is like right next to Spawn, I think, right? No, this is somewhere else. There's something that looks like this at Spawn. Really amazing. Ooh. What shaders are these? That's cool. I want shaders that make the soul lanterns actually, like, glow blue. I forget how to pronounce this. Trig... Oh, there was a pronunciation somewhere. Trigva? Something. Triva? Anyway, super cool. A very cozy house. That's a great idea, alternating with the Oh my god, is that a creaking? I don't know how you can live there. That's so scary. Oh. The inside? Oh, it's Blight's head. Oh. I miss the What If server. That's so cool. I'm scared of the creakings, though. Whoa. Dude, how do y'all do this? It's been like a week! How? Oh, I see schematic. But still! Oh my god. Ooh. Is that like a trellis thing? Oh, walls. Nice. Dog. This is bagel. Yeah, this is something that Blight would make, man. Copper dog. The courthouse. The courthouse looks amazing. I need to start working on the other two. If you're in the Keepers of Solace and you're not in the hospital or the judicial faction, you need to get on it. HR, no building. Waste management, no building. Parks and Rec, no building. We need to make buildings. You're working on HR right now? Let's go! Let's go! Whoa! Look at that! Oh my gosh. I love that. It's so silly. Copper, Scarecrow. OSHA is coming? Another boat. Oh my gosh, like the clothes pants hanging off it? That is so creative. I love that. Ooh, the walls are looking really good. I love seeing the progress. Base walls are done. That is cool. Wow. 11 double chests of cobble. That's incredible. My gosh. Sandcastle. Ooh, this looks like a lava level, like desert level, and I don't know, Zelda or something. I don't know who made this. The world made it. The data pack we downloaded made it. Ooh, underwater expansion. How do you do this? I am genuinely flabbergasted. That's so cool. Y'all, who took my stairs? Yeah, who took the stairs? Oh yeah, those are some snazzy stairs. Patria is ever expanding. Is this this must be a underwater, like, what's it called? Water temple thing? Wow, I love the greens. That's beautiful. And this is beautiful. The bottom of the... I don't even recognize it. It's gorgeous. This is the bottom of Spawn. It's beautiful. Really amazing. Alright. Well, I think that is it. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your evening or night or morning, day, wherever you are. And, I will see you. So I've switched, my music streams are gonna be on Thursdays now, because I realized that, like, it's less of a participation thing and more of a go on in the background kind of thing. People are gonna be more wanting to participate on weekends. So Sundays is gonna be the, challenge videos now. Which I still need to edit the stupid one that I have. Yeah, this season is really pretty. Yeah, so Thursday, if I can get an appointment tomorrow for my laptop, the problem is, so I made an appointment and then I had something, I had to, like, take my mom to the doctor or something, I don't remember, something came up, I had to cancel it. And then I wanted to do it, like yesterday, but then I'm like, what if they take my laptop to fix it and then, like, I have to go pick it up later? I'm not gonna be able to stream. So, I'm gonna make an appointment and see what the deal is. We'll see. Yeah. I could also use my old laptop. I don't know if it could even handle streaming and Logic at the same time. I think it can. But, yeah. We're gonna go work on more lore. Bye. Right at 7 o'clock for me. Let's end it here. I'll see you later. Farewell.